Listen, I saw your arrival here, and there's no need for explanations. I witnessed the weariness in your soul, the exhaustion in your steps, and yet, in the midst of it all, your faith, fragile as it may be, still urged you to keep moving. Know this: you are here not by mere chance, but by divine orchestration, a design that was set long before you even took your first breath. You are exactly where you need to be, at this very moment, because what is coming your way today is not just a symbol or an empty promise. It's a real, transformative miracle. It doesn't depend on human formulas, nor does it rely on your actions or your worth. This miracle has already been released in the spiritual realm and is now crossing boundaries you didn't even know existed, breaking the chains that have bound you for years. When I speak, my words do not return void. This is a change that carries my seal, my signature, my will, an act of grace that is not tied to your perfection. As you hear these words, something deep inside of you, something ancient as your soul, will recognize this truth: it is for you. This is not just a message, it's confirmation of what I've already placed within your heart, even if you don't fully comprehend it yet. This is a bridge between your current struggles, your anxiety, your fear, and those silent tears, and the future you will witness as a testimony of healing and unshakable joy. Stay with me. Do not run from this moment. Do not allow distractions to take you away from the truth you're receiving now. Don't disregard what you're feeling deep inside, because it is I, knocking on the door of your soul with relentless strength and eternal love. Child of mine, don't disconnect. Every second from this moment forward, every word spoken, carries a piece of the answer you've been waiting for. You are not here by accident. Every tear you've shed in secret, every night you believed no one saw your pain, every prayer you thought was unheard, I accounted for. I was there. I saw, I heard, and I responded even when you didn't see it. And now, I'm here to tell you that today is the day I marked for you. Today is the day when the unseen will become visible, when the impossible will bow before my authority. I know you believe you were carrying this burden alone, the kind of pain that can't be seen, the kind that goes beyond what others might understand. That weariness that sleep can't fix, that anxiety you hide behind a smile and silence. But I have seen it all. I've been watching every moment, every detail. I know every thought that races through your mind when you lie down at night. I hear those silent conversations you have with yourself, the ones you keep hidden in the darkness, the prayers you hesitate to utter because you fear they might reveal weakness or a lack of faith. I have heard even those unspoken requests, because I am the God who understands the thoughts, the God who sees the heart, and the God who needs no words to understand your soul. And that's why today, not tomorrow, I speak over your life and declare that the strength within you comes from me, and it was never by chance, it was meant for you. Among countless others, I chose you. I saw you, I touched you, and I set a purpose upon your life. This decision did not depend on the opinions of others or even on your own perception of yourself. It comes from the throne of my eternal being, and no one can reverse what I have established. No voice of opposition can undo what I have signed with my authority. So, stay right here. Do not move from this moment. Do not underestimate this opportunity. Do not disregard this calling, for this may be the final chance to witness the miracle I have already set in motion for you. This is not just about feelings, it is about your destiny. It is about aligning with my will and opening your heart to the supernatural. What I have in store is not a promise for later. It is a fulfillment for now. If you choose to believe, if you choose to stay, If you choose to open your spirit, you will witness my glory like never before. Pay attention, because these are not mere words from a human, but a direct message from my throne. Before you even entered this world, before your eyes opened to the light, I had already set my gaze upon you. I've been guiding you, even when you were unaware of it. I've been caring for you, even in moments when you felt abandoned. You didn't come here by chance. This wasn't an accident that you heard this message. I crafted it, sealed it with my purpose, and placed it in your path because my love for you is eternal. It never fades, it never stops, and it is not contingent on your perfection. Heaven has shifted. Pay close attention, heaven has moved on your behalf. Today, I am not speaking to simply entertain or inspire you on a surface level. I speak because the appointed time has come. If you truly believe, if you open your heart, even with the last bit of strength you have, if you sincerely open your spirit, you will begin to feel that something is shifting. Healing has arrived, deliverance has been set in motion, and no power on this earth or in hell can stand against what I have released for you. Those illnesses that have stolen your peace, the diagnoses that instilled fear, the words from doctors that seem like unchangeable verdicts, none of that has any authority anymore. I am the Alpha and the Omega. I am the one who holds the final word. I am the God who overturns reports, who transforms verdicts into testimonies, who turns graves into altars. I am the Lord who transcends the impossible, who laughs at human limitations, because there is no sickness, no condition, no threat that can withstand the might of my word. And today, with the same voice that calmed the stormy sea, with the same voice that parted the Red Sea, with the same voice that raised the dead, I speak to you. It departs. That illness departs, that affliction departs, that feeling of hopelessness departs. They are removed because where my virtue touches, death turns to life. What was once pain becomes a testimony. What was once fear turns into steadfast courage. Where I reside, the enemy has no dominion. Where my spirit moves, darkness must retreat, and today I am moving. I am moving within you. You are not here just to hear comforting words. You are here to witness the work I have already begun. Do not overlook this moment. This is a sacred moment, a pivotal moment in the history of your life, where heaven has touched earth, and you are standing at the center of my will. You are not hearing this by chance. I am the one who brought you here. Every step, every second, every moment of silence, every tear, I orchestrated it all, because today is the day of transformation. Today marks the moment I set you free from everything that has held you captive. Today is the day I break the chains that have bound you for years. Today is the day I take the weight that has been sinking your soul and cast it far away because it no longer belongs to you. The guilt that has relentlessly chased you, the trauma that stole your peace, the anguish that left you breathless, all of it is now giving way to my presence. I have chosen to intervene, and when I act, nothing can stop me. I am the one who brings life to dry bones, who restores what seemed lost forever, who raises up what the enemy thought was destroyed beyond repair. And today, I declare that I am raising something new within you. I am starting a work that no one can erase. And if you choose to walk with me, if you choose to believe, there will be no door too tightly shut, no giant too formidable to defeat, no night I cannot turn into morning. Stay here. Don't leave. Don't close your heart, because this is not just a message. This is your divine moment. You felt the weight pressing down on your chest, that invisible force holding you back when you try to move forward. You fought to stay strong, but there are days when your soul feels ready to give up, when your thoughts drown out the promises you try to hold onto. You wonder if it will ever change, if what you hope for will come to pass before your strength runs out. And even though no one sees it, even though many think you have everything under control, inside you there's a constant battle, a silent cry asking, how much longer? Know this, none of this has escaped my notice. Not a single tear has fallen that I haven't gathered. I know the deepest, most hidden places of your heart, even those areas you've tried to avoid. I know what you've kept buried in fear. I know what you've tried to forget as the years passed. But I, who see beyond the surface, am coming to touch exactly the part of you you thought could never be reached. What you have called ruin, what you've written off as lost, what you believed was dead, I call it raw material for the miracle I have already set in motion. The journeys you've walked, though painful, were never in vain. Even though they left scars and sorrow, they serve as the soil I cultivated to plant something eternal within you. I do not overlook your pain, I transform it. I do not reject your weakness. I use it as a vessel to display my glory. I did not come to condemn your story. I came to rewrite it. Every chapter that follows will bear witness to the truth that you were never alone in the storm. You were being held, guided, and shaped by my unseen hand. What seemed like delays were part of my divine plan. What you perceived as loss was preparation, setting the stage for a greater abundance than you ever imagined. Not everything depends on your strength or control. What I do is not limited by your ability, but by your willingness to surrender. Heaven has moved for you. The kingdom has been activated with a single word from my lips. Angels have been dispatched. The atmosphere is shifting, and what once seemed impossible is beginning to bow before my authority. There is no diagnosis that carries the power I possess. No human report outweighs my eternal decree. The illnesses that have stolen your peace are being dismantled right now. The tests that filled you with fear are being rewritten by my power. The doctor's words that seemed to seal your fate in darkness are being replaced with my voice, a voice that brings light. I have declared it, it departs. And when I speak, all of creation responds. Sickness obeys, darkness flees, and anguish retreats. That affliction you couldn't explain, that constant knot in your throat, that deep emptiness that nothing could fill, it all begins to withdraw because my virtue has touched every part of your being, your body, soul, mind, and spirit. Where I am, what was once death transforms into life. What you thought was condemnation will be remembered as the place where your redemption story began. The vow you believed would be your end will become the altar where you will always recall my faithfulness. Nothing was overlooked. Every moment of struggle, every effort to stand firm, every sigh in the silence was seen by heaven. And it wasn't seen with indifference. It was with deep compassion, with purpose. Because this moment was marked on my calendar long before you were ever born. This moment, this intervention, this breakthrough has already been written in the book that bears your name in my presence. And now, it begins to unfold, not by human effort, not through earthly intervention, but because I am the one orchestrating it. You don't need to understand every detail of what's happening. What you need to know is that I am at work, that I have moved on your behalf, and that what I have decreed cannot be stopped, not by your past, not by your mistakes, not by the voices that have sought to destroy your faith. I have made the decision to bless you. I have chosen to break the chains that have held you captive. I have decided to set you free, and no one can reverse my decision. Healing is flowing, not as an illusion or distant promise, but as a tangible reality that is beginning to manifest right now. What once restrained you no longer holds power. What once seemed like an insurmountable wall is now becoming the very path you walk. What once appeared as a wound will now stand as a testament to my faithfulness. You have not arrived too late. You are not running out of time. You are exactly where I intended for you to be. And the miracle you're waiting for is not a mere possibility. It is a present reality in heaven that is now descending to earth. I see how you've wondered if what you desire is even possible, if it's too big for you, if it's just a fleeting breath in the midst of overwhelming frustration. You've grown accustomed to expecting little, to keeping your hopes low, to not lifting your eyes for fear of seeing nothing on that horizon. But I say to you, you've limited your expectations, not because you are incapable of dreaming, but because the weight of past disappointments has made you hesitant to open your heart fully. However, what I am doing in your life does not depend on your strength to imagine it, nor does it rely on your understanding. I am working in a dimension that does not need explanation, only manifestation. I am not a distant God, not a mere observer from afar. I have leaned toward you with intention, not because you deserve it more than others, but because I chose to show you that you have not been forgotten, that your name still echoes in my presence, and that your cause has not been overlooked. Though you thought your prayers fell unanswered, though you believed silence was my response, you were mistaken. In the silence, I was preparing the perfect moment, aligning things you couldn't see, removing obstacles you would never have recognized, and protecting your soul during the times when it seemed like nothing was happening. I do not measure time the way man does. I do not count the years as you count them. I am not bound by time or the circumstances that shape it. What seemed like delay to you was, in fact, a necessary process in my plan. What is about to emerge from you is not small, it is not fragile, it is not temporary. I am building something eternal, something that will leave a lasting impact, something that will glorify my name and will not be credited to human effort. I am cultivating within you an authority that cannot be found in books, a faith that cannot be gained simply by words, a trust that can only be developed by walking with me through unseen, uncharted paths. There were things you didn't understand when they unfolded, people who left without explanation, doors that closed when you thought they were about to open, paths that shifted suddenly and without warning. You thought it was unfair, that you made a wrong choice, that maybe you failed me. But that was not the case. These were all movements I orchestrated, because there were dangers I shielded you from, wounds I prevented from deepening, betrayals I stopped before they could harm you, and paths that seemed safe but would have led you to destruction. And though it hurt, it was protection. Though you couldn't understand it, it was love. Though you felt confused and abandoned, it was my guidance, hidden beneath what seemed like interruptions. Now, after that time of silence, after you walked through barren places and felt your spirit harden, something new is stirring. Not as you imagined it, but exactly as I designed it from the very beginning, not according to your calculations, but in alignment with my eternal wisdom. And though you cannot yet see the entire picture, you are already standing on the threshold of the supernatural. The ground beneath your feet is shifting, preparing to open to something far greater than you could have ever envisioned. The doors that have remained closed for years are now responding to my command. Opportunities that were never dependent on your connections or efforts are beginning to manifest because of my favor upon your life. I am awakening the voice you silenced out of fear. I am stirring up the gifts you allowed to lie dormant due to insecurity. I am placing in your hands the keys to things you never dared to ask for, not because you have earned them, but because I want to reveal to you the depth of who I am. I did not choose you for a life bound by limitations, constrained by human expectations, but to walk as the living inheritance of my promises. I did not come to offer you mere scraps. I came to prepare a table before you, right in the presence of everything that sought to destroy you. My promises are not vague or distant. I come with fulfillment in hand. I am not working from the outside in. I am moving from your spirit outward to everything around you. I will change your environment because I am already transforming your inner being. Just as the sun rises without permission, so will my work be unleashed in you. You won't be able to hide it. You won't be able to stop it, because this is not a fleeting emotion. It is a lasting, eternal shift. The evidence of my presence in you, with you, and upon you is not because you sought me out with perfection, but because I decided to reveal myself to you in faithfulness. This season is marked by fulfillment, and everything that once seemed beyond restoration, everything that withered in your hands, everything that was buried before it could bloom, I am calling it back to life. I have been watching how you've lived with a soul torn between what you know I have promised and what you see with your natural eyes. A constant struggle between the hope you once held and the harsh reality that has pressed in on you day after day. You've tried to stay strong, and while outwardly it may seem like you're moving forward, inwardly you question if true fulfillment will ever come, if heaven has truly remembered your name. At times, you wonder if all the things you hear about my power, my provision, and my miracles are meant for others but not for you. But I want you to understand something profound today. You are not a possibility in my eyes. You are a promise. You are part of what I have intentionally established, and what I have begun in you will never remain unfinished. I do not abandon what I design. I do not discard what I have created with my own hands. Even in the moments when you thought nothing was happening, I was laying the invisible foundations, establishing eternal pillars that will support everything that is about to be revealed in your life. For I am not building something fragile, easily swept away by the winds of change. What I am constructing will endure, even when seasons shift and the voices around you become disorienting. This is the season when the walls that once seemed impenetrable will begin to crumble, not by your own strength, but by my divine authority. I have sent my word as a command in the spiritual realm, and what once seemed unmovable will now be removed with ease. I am unlocking doors the enemy closed years ago, opening paths that have been blocked for generations, and purifying the atmosphere that was polluted by negative words, by past wounds, and by doubts you buried deep within yet that still influenced your journey. All of this is being transformed from above. And there's more. I am releasing clarity that you had lost. In the midst of so many voices, you struggled to discern mine. Amid countless thoughts, you didn't know which direction to take. But now, I am opening your eyes to see beyond what's natural. I will ensure that your decisions are no longer governed by fear but by divine discernment. I will reveal the path to you with undeniable signs, for I did not come to add confusion, but to bring purpose. I did not come to increase your burdens but to deliver freedom. I am not multiplying the weight you carry. I am lightening the load you were never meant to bear alone. There are areas in your life that have become stagnant, lifeless, and lacking direction, and you have come to accept them as simply part of your reality, things that would never change. But I did not create you for resignation, nor was I ever intended for you to live without vision. I am reviving every shadowed corner, every dream that you hid so deeply that you almost forgot its sound. But I have not forgotten what I planted within you, and the seeds I deposited from the beginning are beginning to stir because my word in you has not lost its power. It has only been waiting for the appointed time to flourish. There is an expansion ahead, not just spiritually, but in tangible, practical ways. I will cause growth in areas where stagnation once held sway. I will multiply in places where there was once lack. I will pour out grace in situations where there was once rejection. I am not bound by your circumstances, and I do not need everything to work in your favor. In fact, when everything seems to be against you is when I will most clearly show you that I am the one who opens doors where there seem to be none. I am also bringing new relationships, connections you never anticipated, people sent by me who will play vital roles in the fulfillment of what is coming. There will be doors opening that defy all logic, but they will have my full backing. These opportunities will not come through manipulation or human effort, but solely through my divine intervention. What I am about to do with you will not remain hidden. It will be visible for all to see, not to exalt you, but to demonstrate what I can do with someone who hath been broken yet never stopped believing. Your journey will become a sign for many, and you won't have to explain a thing. It will be clear that it was I who moved on your behalf. Do not fear the changes I am stirring up. What I am removing now is simply preparation for what I am establishing. Some things will be shaken, others replaced, and there will be decisions that may seem sudden, but each one will have its purpose. I am repositioning your life, aligning your time with my eternity, and accelerating processes that once seemed endlessly delayed. For when my moment arrives, nothing can stand in its way. There will be times when you feel as if you are standing only by sheer inertia, holding on with the last of your strength, just doing everything you can not to fall. Your soul heavy, your heart tense, and your mind weary. And even though you do not voice it, within you, there is a battle that many cannot see, a struggle that begins not in the physical realm but deep within your spirit. Yet, in the midst of all this, I am with you, not as a mere spectator but as your sustainer, the one who has been taking every broken part of you and rebuilding it, often without your awareness. When you felt stuck, it wasn't abandonment. It was an intentional pause, so that when what I have planned for you arrives, you won't be found weak, but prepared. I am making the ground of your life fertile once again. There are seeds you planted in faith that you saw no growth from, causing you to question if you misunderstood my will or planted in vain. But it was not a mistake. What you believed to be lost was never truly lost. There were seeds you buried with tears and silence, thinking they had disappeared, but now I am calling them to life. I am speaking to the soil where your dreams once seemed to die, and that soil is responding. I am breathing life into what appeared forgotten, bringing it back to the surface, not as a mere illusion, but as a living, breathing reality that you will experience. Many around you won't understand what is unfolding. They will try to fit it into their own categories, explain it with their own logic, but they will not succeed. For what I am doing is not based on human structures, but on my sovereign will. My work is not bound by the world's timelines, nor does it rely on human systems. When I choose to move, my power seeks no approval. I do not come to negotiate with your circumstances. I come to rule over them. I do not ask if you are prepared, for I am the one who equips you as I walk alongside you. What once took years I will now accomplish in mere days. What once seemed far off, I am now drawing near.